Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Point Click Podcast. Azar Salesman.
We pretend people care about our opinions. We pretend people care about our opinions.
They're just a couple of good guys, virtue signaling their life away.
It smells like wet dog. We pretend people care about our opinions. We pretend people care about our opinions.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Point Click Podcast. They're just a couple of good guys, virtue signaling their life away. So stay woke, stay fresh.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Point and Click Podcast. My name is John the Wise, and I'm here with Czar Salesman.
Hey, how's it going?
Hope you guys had a wonderful week. Thank you for joining us once again for some gaming news and pop culture references and K-pop references. Dude, why is BTS so fucking big in the United States?
Teenage girls, as far as I understand it.
Well,
Right.
I went to like a family gathering, and there was like an 11-year-old girl there that was like hardcore into BTS. She knew all the lyrics, and she's Mexican, so it's like
How does she know all the lyrics? She can't even speak the language.
she knows the lyrics and she doesn't speak Korean, but she knows the lyrics.
She knows the sounds. That
She
she's
knows the
supposed to
sounds and the meaning. Like she looked up the That's how hardcore these girls are, dude.
make. I mean, it's just the boy band phenomenon. You know what I'm saying? Beatles, NSYNC. It just happens over and over again.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, but American boy bands are king, all right? Fuck all these foreign boy bands.
Not anymore.
I know.
Koreans are coming on up.
Times
They're
have
Korean,
changed. Times have, they're Korean as fuck, dude. They're super Korean. They're bulgogis. You know what I mean?
What?
Bulgogi, that's a Korean dish. Dude, come on, get out of here. You need to be more cultured.
I am an uncultured swine,
Dude,
John.
it's not
I don't know
all...
what the fuck bagogi is supposed to mean.
It
Sounds like some fucking Yiddish term.
You fucking bulgogi.
Yeah.
You
What
come
the
to
fuck?
me. Anyway,
Why are you Italian and Jewish at the same time?
what are you talking about? Anyway, that's my perfect Hebrew Jewish guy accent. But
Okay.
that's not what this podcast is about. This podcast is about making fun of Game of Thrones and Avengers Endgame. And how
By
much...
the way, there will be spoilers for both. It's been a week and 2 weeks since Endgame's been out. It's been a week since the Game of Thrones new episode on the day, so there will be spoilers.
Yeah, so if you're not down with spoilers, first of all, if you haven't watched it already, what the fuck are you doing?
You don't care about spoilers.
You don't really
if you haven't
care.
watched.
Yeah, you're not going to convince me that you care about the show if you haven't watched it yet. You've had way more time. You know what I mean? You know?
Exactly, 100%. That's pretty much how I feel about it.
So, we're going to talk about... Did you watch Endgame? You did, right?
Yes, yeah.
Did you like it?
It was satisfying. I don't think it was as good as Infinity War.
Really?
But it was satisfying. Like it wrapped up the story. It wrapped up Tony Stark's story, or it was
Okay.
an ending to his story, more or less. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't think it was overall as good as Infinity War, but I think it'd be really hard for it to have been as good as Infinity War, to be honest.
I thought it was
Anytime-
better.
And I knew this was going to happen because I knew that they were going to mess with time.
Yeah,
travel.
it had to be time travel.
It had to be time travel. So I
Yeah.
already knew that after Infinity War and going into it. So I already knew that for me, it wasn't going to be as good because anytime a movie deals with time travel, I know I got to knock it down a few rungs because they're going to fuck it up.
Yeah.
Just because that's how every movie or TV show works with time travel.
Yeah.
One it's hard to set rules in the first place. They will set some vague rules and then they will break those rules at the same times. And of course, they did it with Endgame as well. So I already knew it was going to happen. So that alone brings it down a little bit, in my opinion. Anytime you deal with time travel, you're setting yourself up for a little bit of failure.
Yeah, they tried though. They were like, they did all the right things. Because when there's time travel in a story, you're just leaving all these plot holes. Like it's immediate plot holes.
Exactly. Like we know you're gonna try to set some rules, and they did. They set a couple, a little vague here and there, but they did try to set up some sort of rules around it. But then they broke it at the same time later on. So
they broke it at the end with Captain America.
I'm still trying to really decipher some of the rules that they try to set up, so it's like questionable.
So the idea is if they travel back in time and they fuck with it, now they've created an alternate timeline. So now it's an alternate reality, and it's not going to change their future. It's just going to make a different reality.
That's
the rule that they set.
It's to an extent, because this is where it starts to get weird. The Emperor Supreme, whatever, the Sorceress Supreme, Tilda Swinton, said, if you take the stones, that's where it makes a diverging reality or whatever.
Yeah,
or that's what she was claiming.
That's the alternate reality. You don't fix your world. You just make a different world.
So their idea was, we'll just return the stones to after we took them, and that'll fix it, right?
Yeah.
So that was their premise behind all that, and then it will set the time stream back to what it's supposed to be, and then it'll all loop around and still be what we're going to do and how we beat Thanos. Yeah. But then they bring Thanos and Gamora and Nebula from a different timeline. Loki fucking in the different timeline takes one of the stones. So they still fuck everything up anyway.
Well, they killed Nebula and they killed past Thanos, which is an alternate
which should have
timeline.
Also fucked up alternate timelines, and they can't repair and put those timelines back together because just returning the stones to those timelines won't merge everything back together.
Oh, you're right. You're so right. That's totally
they've killed those people that they brought through, and they keep Gamora.
They killed the person that did the snap. That should have fucked everything up.
But it won't, because instead it creates a branching timeline instead of affecting the future, because the future is now their past.
But even if they put the stones at the exact same place at the exact same time, it's still fucked because they killed past Thanos.
Right. So that timeline is a divergent timeline. So should the timeline of Loki getting away with the Tesseract.
And also, how about fucking Captain America deciding, I'm just going to live a normal life. It's like, no, dude, there's an alternate version of you.
Right. That one gets a little weird, right?
It doesn't make sense. Because,
I like the idea.
Think about it.
Cap getting his American dream, right?
Yeah, but think about it. So let's say he wants to do the American dream, right? And he just wants to work an office job or something like that. He's already famous. So people are going to be like, hey, you look like Captain America.
Well, technically he will be living his life as just himself, not as Captain America, with the love of his life during the 70 years that the other Captain America is frozen.
Yeah, but what I mean is, that's right. He's frozen during this time. Yeah.
Right.
I get it.
So he doesn't really have to deal with conflicting his own life. Get what I mean?
What if Captain America uses the stones instead of returning them? Yeah, technically he could. He could. To give himself a big old dick, dude.
Take this reality stone and just give myself a big old dong.
I don't think he would die, Prince. I think he can handle it.
Well, he'd have to make another gauntlet.
And he would get fucked up. Yeah, that's true. He would have to make another gauntlet, and it would fuck him up. I think he's strong enough to snap. I think Captain America's strong enough to snap.
Yeah. It's strange to me why they never just gave the gauntlet to Thor to use.
Yeah, why didn't they, or Miss Marvel?
Yeah, I don't understand why they had Hulk do it in the first place.
Do you think that was all... Okay, so supposedly... what's her name? Brie Larson.
Brie Larson.
Yeah, everyone hated her apparently.
A lot of people didn't like her character, I guess in general. Even in Captain America or Captain Marvel. I haven't seen Captain Marvel. It wasn't very interesting to me.
I liked it.
I'm sure it was a good movie. It's just like I didn't see the Ant-Man movies either.
Yeah.
I just have really no interest in. The only movies I really have interest in are Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Thor after Thor Ragnarok.
The movie
Right.
explained why Thor couldn't do it. I don't remember that. I know that Hulk had to do it, and he did do it. He snapped everyone back, and then they had that
Right.
cool moment.
The movie doesn't explain why Thor can't.
Yeah, they didn't say why Thor can't.
I don't think they ever mentioned Thor, did they?
No. Thor
It was just the only thing was just Hulk stepped in and said something about gamma radiation.
Yeah, he said it's gamma radiation.
No, you're right because Thor is all fucked up in the head right now.
Yeah, that's a weird explanation.
So they couldn't I think they just really couldn't
but that doesn't make
trust
sense.
him with that kind of power.
But that doesn't make sense.
What,
He's fucked up in the head. What does that mean?
Yeah, he's currently emotionally unstable.
He was in no condition to do it because he let himself go and he wasn't in the right mindset. And
It was his mindset.
So I don't know. Apparently, you have to have the right mindset to snap.
Well, because it's
a weird
active
prerequisite.
Will. It's an active will.
Okay.
Using the Infinity Gauntlet and the stones are an act of you exerting your will through these magical cosmic stones.
Yeah.
So if Thor is mentally and emotionally unstable, even his own will might be unpredictable to himself. You get what I'm saying?
He put on 100+ pounds, but he's still a demigod.
I think it was really just an issue with like his mental and stuff like that.
See, they are so loosey goosey with this. Okay, gods are supposed to be immortal. Okay,
he's a god. He's an alien. He's an eternal. I mean, there's it depends on what you define as a god in the Marvel universe.
That's what I'm saying. Even if he puts on 100 pounds, he should still be immortal because he's a god. So it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
Absolutely. It was just I think it was the mental and emotional condition of Thor. I forgot they did mention that.
It's just a plot point. That's all it is.
Yeah, it is just a plot point. But.
It's just so fucking Robert Downey Jr. doesn't have to make Marvel movies anymore. I'm pretty sure all of them just wanted to quit because if you think about it, they've been doing it for fucking 10 years, 11 years, and they just want to move on, dude. It's a lot to fucking do those kinds of movies. You know what I mean?
I think it was Robert Downey Jr. and
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans both were basically saying they were done.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the reasons that they wrapped it up the way they did. I think they wrapped up Tony the way they did also just because I think that's really the only way you can.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks too, and it's very emotional, but it's like that feel like it almost has to happen that way.
And then as far as Black Widow, same thing. Scarlett Johansson's probably like, I'm done. You know, I want to be done. And
right.
Thor, and the thing with Thor is he went from being like, if you think about the first Thor, he was like this serious, like I am a stoic knight of Asgard, you know, and now he's just like this funny dude, and he can be a part of the Guardians of the Galaxy plots and stories because now he can play a funny guy, you know, and maybe for Chris Hemsworth that's a more attractive role to just be a funny Thor,
that,
you know?
And it was like the first two Thor movies I think were pretty much garbage.
I don't think they were garbage. I just think they were underwhelming.
Thor Ragnarok was fucking amazing.
I liked it. Yeah.
Easily one of the best Marvel movies ever made.
When they started using fucking comedy, and I mean the comedy's the
just
best part.
Everything just felt better. They
Yeah.
didn't have the weird stories with him and Natalie Portman, and they made the character more appealing. And after that, Chris Hemsworth pretty much said, as long as movies are of the same caliber as Ragnarok, that he'll play Thor indefinitely.
Yeah, so that makes sense because he liked that whole exploring the funny aspect of it and being like not taking it too seriously. Because the other ones were a little too serious. Dark World and what was the other one? It was Thor, Dark World, and then I don't know. There was another one.
I don't know the titles of the first two, to be honest.
Yeah. This should have been the 100th episode where we bring on everyone that matters. We could talk about Endgame and Game of Thrones. Dude, the 100th episode is like in 4 weeks, 5 weeks or something like that.
Oh my God, is it? Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
dude, it's happening.
We'll be at the basically at the end of Game of Thrones at that point, so
yeah, that's true.
We could have a big old fucking 2-hour conversation about all of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I mean all the Marvel cinematic. Oh, it was Thor, Dark World, then Ragnarok. Okay. That's all his movies. All right. Yeah, I thought Dark World was okay. I thought the bad guys in Dark World, those elves, were a cool bad guy to have, and then they were just thrown away at the end of the movie and never to be seen again.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't even fucking remember that movie.
I don't remember shit. I just remember.
don't remember
Apparent.
shit about
You
that
know
movie.
what? Whenever the part,
Like I blacked it out.
dude,
I watched it once and I was like, I don't care about this anymore.
the part where fucking Rocket Raccoon had to get the reality stone out of Natalie Portman's character. I didn't even know she had the reality stone. I was like, wait, when?
I didn't understand.
Apparently
any of
that shit
because-
happened in Dark World, dude. We didn't even fucking pay attention.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. I was like, okay.
Yeah, but anyway, that's that. I thought it was a good movie. I cried like a bitch a few times. There was a lot of like, ever since I had Donnie,
I
dude.
did the manly tear up where you feel the swell of emotions, but you don't cry.
Yeah, no, I was on 3 edibles, and I've had dude. I'm telling you, after you have a kid, man, you just become this sensitive little bitch, dude. And I started crying.
So then I gotta know which parts like grabbed you by the groin.
Dude,
and really
all the
puts
ones-
those tears out.
All the ones that were supposed to make you cry, I cried. You know,
It was
not ugly cries, but like
Not
a
ugly
tear,
cries,
like a
just like-
fucking the streak, the sniffles. You
Right.
know, the obvious that
was-
you're crying.
for me. I was doing a pretty good job of not like, swelling up into that until it was like when Pepper Potts started crying,
When she's like, "We're okay," and then he died.
and
I was
and
like,
then she just starts breaking down.
dude,
When she started breaking down, that almost got me. I
dude,
was
when
like,
she get that
that's
fucking
emotional.
When did she get that fucking Warframe style Iron Man suit, dude? That shit was sick, dude.
They when they first introduced Tony's daughter in her tent,
Yeah.
she's wearing that helmet, and Tony says, "I made that for your mom."
Oh,
Where'd you get it? That was the reference to, hey, by the way, Pepper Potts has an Iron Man suit.
yeah, okay. That's funny. But that's, man. How did you feel about that part where all the fucking women lined up perfectly from all the universes and did their whole
That didn't bother me at all. It was a little pandering.
didn't
but
bother you? Are you kidding me? It
didn't
was
bother me.
so like out of place, man. It was so like, what did
Not
they
for
even
a Marvel movie does so much
I know, you're right.
pandering and fan service in general but they do it pretty well. So even that part did bother me. I was like, oh, there's all the women. Cool. I was like, whatever.
Yeah, for me it was so cheesy because I was telling
was
my
a lot
wife,
cheesy.
I was like, dude, all these women are already cool. You don't have to fucking like be like, look at them. You know, it's
Yeah,
like
but I mean, I also liked that there was like, it was the line above like, here's all the strong women characters
Yeah.
that we've had throughout the franchise, and here they all are. Like, I mean, it's fine. It's just like any other hero lineup. I mean, they had a bunch of muscly, strong dudes all fighting each other
yeah.
a second ago, so
that's
it wasn't
the thing. I feel like they don't need to make it this like amazing fucking like look at everybody. It's like we already
like
feel that way.
They don't,
you know?
but they do it with everything.
Yeah.
But they do it well enough that it doesn't bother me, right? So that didn't really bother me. But it was 100% pandering. Yes.
Yeah. 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 But yeah, people
Oh.
were CM. Who's CM? Didn't have
Led the
CM lead the charge, Princess.
Just wish they didn't have
CM.
Captain Marvel.
Oh, Captain Marvel. Oh,
I wish
yeah.
they would've been-
Dude, I thought Captain Marvel's such a cool character. When she destroyed Thanos' ship with her body, I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
I mean, I think she's a cool character. I think they do have issues with her personality.
yeah.
And I think it's the same issue that people had with the original Thor.
Yeah.
Like in Thor 1 and 2. Like it's a personality issue. People didn't like the personality they gave Thor too much, right?
Yeah.
There were a couple good parts, and I think there's a couple good parts about Captain Marvel's personality. But I think in general, it's that same sort of like people aren't 100% on board with her personality,
Yeah.
just like they weren't with Thor until Ragnarok.
Also,
I
the part where they're like, where are you when we need your help? And she's like, the universe is a big place, and they
Yes,
all
I
need
like
help.
how they really contextualize why this super OP hero isn't just around fixing
All their
everything,
problems,
right?
you know?
Because there's thousands of worlds that she's having to travel to try to fix all the chaos and conflict that Thanos caused by snapping half of.
Yeah.
life
She's
out of
like, this has
existence.
happened everywhere, not just here. So it makes
Right.
sense. Yeah.
I liked the fight between her and Thanos. Really showed how powerful she was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where she was like starting to overpower him and smack him around a little bit,
Yeah.
and he had to like pull the power stone off the gauntlet and smack her with it.
Yeah. And people are talking in chat about Captain Marvel. If you want to know about Captain Marvel, which is his original, the original one was a
Because
guy.
his name was because he was
Marvel.
an alien guy, and his last name was Mar-Vel.
Yeah, and there's been so many
There's been
Captain
several.
Marvels,
There's been
so
several
many.
Marvels.
Some of them have been female, some of them have been male.
But Carol Danvers has been it for years.
Yeah,
right now.
Carol Danvers was a solid one since 2012, since what Fresh Prince says. I think even before that, actually.
Was it? I don't know the exact date, so I'm not.
There's this really good YouTube
Fresh
channel
Prince.
called Comics Explained, and this guy
I watch sometimes.
dude, that guy knows all this shit. I learned so much about all the like Marvel cinematic, and he touches on all that shit. But anyway, solid movie. I think it was a good way to wrap everything up and
Absolutely.
start the next phase. And I'm looking forward to like what else they're gonna do. I'm okay with like some of the main characters being gone. I'm actually more hyped for Guardians now that Thor is gonna be a part of it. I like that idea.
Me too. I really like the as Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
move they're making.
I love that shit. So I'm actually excited about that. So we'll see how that goes.
I really liked Captain America picking up Mjolnir.
Dude.
That part really got my.
Yeah. I know.
I was my hog was fully torqued.
If I stood up, I would have pitched the tent, dude. You know what I mean? And fucking Thor going, I knew it.
Yeah.
You know why? Because there was that one scene back in like one of the
Where he
Avenger
sort of
movies.
moved it.
Yeah, and Thor was like, "Oh shit! Did he just like?"
He looked at him weird. Yeah.
Yeah. It was good. That was like, there was so many cool scenes like that. You know what I mean? I think that's why it was one of the best Avengers movies.
It was really it was really good. I kind of want, because I know there's going to be some passing of the torch like with Captain America.
Yeah.
And which is happened in comics many times.
Yeah, Falcon becomes the Captain America. Even Captain America becomes a Punisher in the comics. Like, there's so many.
There's
like,
a lot of weird stuff. There's a lot of weird stuff in the comics. So I'm excited for that. I wonder when they're gonna do the passing of the torch for Iron Man, because I think it's definitely gonna happen. There's gonna be a new Iron Man.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There is one in the comics. I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
What I think it should be Shuri.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Shiri Williams or something. Whoever the fuck that is. Or Riri. Riri?
Is that her name? I would say, isn't it? Shuri is the name of Uganda lady.
Let me see. I only know because I play this game.
Black Panther's little sister. Is what I'm saying.
I play this game on my phone. It's a Marvel like puzzle game, and one of the characters that Riri Williams. There it is. Here it is. Ironheart. Here, I'll show you.
Ironheart. Yeah, no, that's her name. So I was thinking they should do Black Panther's little sister.
Oh, okay.
As the next as taking up like the Iron Man mantle as Ironheart, because she's already a genius, so she already fits the bill there, right?
Yeah. Because she's supposed to be.
Neat. I don't know if they will, but I thought that would be cool if they just gave it to her.
So in the comics, she's a 15-year-old engineering student who's the daughter of the late Riri Williams Sr. Riri lived with her mother and her paternal aunt Sharon. It says nothing here about Wakanda.
No, it's not her in the comics.
Yeah.
I was just saying that would be a good move. Like, they already have Riri in the comics. Instead of like bringing a new character, they can just utilize one they already have that would already fit the bill.
Yeah, that makes sense. Riri is American. Yeah, we covered that. Yeah. So we'll see.
This is my opinion. They probably won't, but I just thought.
Yeah, we'll see how it looks, man. I mean, as far as like all these characters coming into the spotlight, it's gonna be great, man. It's gonna be good. I think it is time for them to start something new. Let's talk about Game of Thrones real quick, and then we'll move on to the news. So, you watched the fucking, what is it called? Battle of Winterfell? Was that the episode?
I don't remember what it's called. I think it's just called Long Night.
Something like that. But it's the most expensive episode as far as like everything that they've. I think historically, it's the largest battle in any TV show or movie.
And movie, which is because it beats Helm's Deep.
That's crazy.
I think it was Helm's Deep until this.
Oh, really? Helm's Deep was the one. Yeah, if you think about it, that has to be it. Wow. Yeah, and
Everything was good except for the writing.
Says
I pretty much agree
Prince.
with Prince. I pretty much agree with Prince.
I don't know, man. I feel like people are a little too hard on it, but I mean, this
Dude.
whole problem with the writing is not a season 8 exclusive thing. It
No,
started
it's been happening since they had to start writing without the books.
exactly. That's what happened.
The D&D or whatever, you know, they're the production company or
Yeah.
whoever the guys are. They're good at creating really cool spectacles.
Yeah.
Visually writing really cool stuff, right? That's fine. Except for that, they're also really shit at writing any sort of like making it feel like there's real stakes or that the actions have consequences.
Yeah. Yeah.
In this last episode, every single main character got death teased 17 different times.
I know that
And it was so annoying. It was like everyone's on the front line. Death wave of zombie hits the front line. Everybody is dead. Oh, except for these named characters.
No, it would be like a scene where like a main character is surrounded by
Absolutely
like
surrounded.
there's no chance.
By the only rights with no weapons.
There's no chance, and then another main character comes and with one swing of the sword, like 30 fucking White Walkers are just like, ugh, like they fly.
Not even that. It's like what you see is they like stab one singular right.
Yeah.
And then suddenly the next shot is everyone's fine.
And then the camera then the camera cuts away. So you're like, oh, are they okay? Like, are they dead? And then like comes back to them later, and
it's
they're
so bad.
I know.
So bad.
I know.
It would be this person gets jumped by 7 rights. Oh, surely he's gonna die. Cuts away.
Yeah.
Oh, then he's probably fine.
Yeah.
It's just so many times. Sam should have fucking died. So many. It was too much of that kind of thing.
I mean, if
It was
anybody's
too much Lord of the Rings.
if anybody's ever played Rome Total War, you don't put your trebuchets in the front line.
Oh my god, so many bad things.
And you don't charge your cavalry into the front line, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? When you're outnumbered, you charge your cavalry? Like you put your trebuchets in the castle so they could just keep going.
You gotta put the trebuchets in the front line, buddy, so that we can use them once and then they're useless.
Prince is just
and then
losing his shit.
The visual of the Dothraki with the flaming swords riding against the undead
looks so good. It
was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was fucking retarded.
Yeah, it was stupid. It was
Absolutely
stupid.
stupid.
It was bad strategies.
That was constant throughout that episode.
Yeah.
Really badly, just constant. And that's what killed me. The thing that a lot of people are fucking upset about is Arya and different stuff like that. I have absolutely no problem with
I have no problem with that either. I actually thought it
I have no
made sense. I thought it made sense because with her training and all that she's sacrificed, she's the only one okay, somebody made a really good point on Reddit. They were like, if the Night King knows that Jon Snow and Daenerys
after him,
like
trying to get
there's a prophecy, dude. He knows the prophecy. You know, he's over 1,000 years old. He knows the fucking prophecy. He knows that these are the two people that will undo me. So I got to make sure I cut them out of the situation. Like no matter what, I can never be near them. I need to make sure the battle is completely like on the brink of being won before I even go into that castle. So that's exactly.
They had won. Like
it was over. It was already over.
The battle was won. The only reason everybody didn't just get slaughtered was because of Arya.
Yeah, exactly.
So like the Night King had already technically won at that point. So that's why he came out to kill Bran himself.
Ooh, that's interesting. Prince says Arya's name translates to song in Valyrian, a song of fire and ice. So it's okay. I thought it was a great idea, actually. I thought it worked perfectly. I don't know how she infiltrated the Godswood with like all those White Walkers.
A lot of people keep bringing that up, and all I gotta say is magic assassin.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, there's this death cult.
Natural 20, dude.
God of death that literally changes their face.
Yeah.
I gotta just suspend your whatever you
suspend disbelief. Yeah.
Suspended disbelief for anything involving the fucking magic assassins. Okay.
Yeah.
She was quieter than her own blood hitting the floor. 2 scenes ago.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. Whatever, magic assassin.
And then in last season, when she meets Jon Snow after their reunion, he's in the Godswood,
how'd you sneak up on?
Yeah, he says, "How did you sneak up on me?" And you know,
she sneaks up on people multiple times in the episodes leading up to
she's
that.
like Batman.
She's Batman.
Yeah. The one thing that irked me about this whole thing is they've built up 10 years of this night of White Walkers.
The very first episode, you see Wrights killing people.
Yeah. Yeah.
The very first episode,
the whole thing
evil is shown to you.
Yeah, those two Night's Watchmen are executed because they deserted, and they're trying to warn people of the White Walkers. And it's this big bad. They call it the big bad. The big bad is just fucking talked about the entire time. And then episode 3, just one big fight, and he's gone. And then it's like, okay, now it's Cersei time. It's like, dude, what's the rush? What's going on here, man?
The big bad. Now Cersei's the big bad.
Cersei's the big bad. Yeah, so it's fucking annoying.
It's going to be interesting because, I mean, they don't have an army to fight against the Golden Army at this point. Like, there's no way that they do.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there. I mean, I really don't understand what's going on there. But
I don't know. I don't know if Euron's going to betray her. I don't know if the Iron Bank is plotting something against her this whole time.
It's still TY is saying in chat, sounds like I'm good. I'm glad I don't watch, but to be honest with you, I'd still highly recommend it.
It's
highly.
A great show.
It's the best show.
Regardless.
It's the best show, and it hasn't ended yet, so we don't know exactly what's going to go on. We don't know how sturdy that plot armor really is. You know what I mean?
More people are going to die definitely before the season's over.
Definitely.
It's definitely interesting because I mean, George R.R. Martin's already written several prequel books about history and other characters and stuff like that. There's 5 spin-off shows planned.
There's 3 in development right now.
3 in development. 2 others are still in scripting phase.
Yeah.
So there's 5.
Yeah.
This is confirmed, right?
Yeah.
And George R.R. Martin hasn't released names yet, but he did say, like, you know, he said everyone should pick up what's the Long Night or whatever. There's one that's like specifically about like the history of the White Walkers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
So everyone's assuming that, okay, so that's going to be one of them. That's how we're going to get more of the Night King's actual like lore and backstory and all this other stuff.
Yeah, and the whole backstory of how the kingdoms were united, you know, because it used to be like 300 kingdoms or some shit like that, and then they were united under one banner by the Targaryens. That whole story's sick. The
Andals, when the men from the Andals came over.
Yeah, well, the Targaryens lived in Valyria,
which is in Essos.
Yeah, and they were the lowest house of all the other houses, and all the other houses had dragons too. It wasn't just them.
Right. This was where the Targaryens were just a house, Valyria, which is like they were all like that. They all had the magical blood that allowed them to like control.
There was other houses that had more dragons, bigger dragons. They were just a lowly house, and they left Valyria because one of the daughters had a vision that the world was going to end. And
nobody wanted to listen to it.
Yeah, everyone's like, "Shut up, bitch!" And except for her dad, who was like, "Okay, fine."
He said, "All right, let's go."
And they created Dragonstone or whatever that place is. And they left.
Valyria blew up.
And then there was the happening or whatever the fuck they called it. So
yeah, it's vague. Some people say the volcanoes erupted, killed everybody.
Yeah. Is that how many people died, Prince? Because I think Dany's army, she still has the Unsullied. So not a lot of them.
Grey Worm went behind him and trapped him off into the undead. Remember?
Not all of them. Not
all of them.
Yeah,
but a good portion.
A good portion.
Almost literally all of the
Dothraki. It looked like at least half. Oh yeah, all the Dothraki men are dead.
There's some stragglers that came back with Jorah.
Yeah,
but
the women and children are still alive though.
Yeah, but who cares about them?
I mean, they're the future. People are like, the Dothraki are gone. It's like, yeah, their military's gone, but they're like culture.
Put everybody in the crypts with a bunch of fucking dead people.
I know, man. But then there was stories where they were buried with iron so that they couldn't rise from the dead, but they ignored that fact.
I don't think they ever addressed that in the book. I mean, in the show.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever, because I don't think in the show they ever mention iron, but in the books, like there's a lot of stuff about the Starks utilizing iron because it hurts rights. So like they buried their dead with iron.
Yeah.
All the statues in the crypts are holding iron swords. The crown of Winterfell is made of iron. Like there's a lot of
a lot of shit falls apart.
But in the show, iron is like never mentioned.
It all falls apart because they had to rush because they didn't have the books, so they did everything on their own. We never got to figure out why the White Walkers were taking babies and turning them into White Walkers.
I think they were just turning. I think they needed humans to turn into White Walkers because
Yeah,
I think
but-
all White Walkers were originally humans, just like the Night King.
Okay, but I mean, so what? Do they just wait for them? Do they grow up to be normal people? Like, I don't get it. We don't know.
That's a good question.
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
know if they,
saying. Like,
incubate them or whatever. I have no idea as far as that goes.
yeah, we're talking about Game of Thrones Polarcia, so if you haven't seen it, you should definitely mute this portion. But overall, it was cool. I thought it was a good episode anyway. And I'm excited about tonight's episode because tonight's episode will round out everything that just happened and kind of like tell us like what the fuck just happened, what's going
the next
on.
Move.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get a little something from Bran. I don't know. I was hoping we get a lot more from
Yeah,
Bran.
he didn't do shit, but maybe we're going to find out. Yeah, we don't know.
I don't know what he's been doing. He can affect the past.
We don't know.
Who knows
He's
what he
like,
was
you know
doing
who he's
other than
like?
orging.
He's like fucking Dr. Manhattan once he gets enlightened, you know? Remember in The Watchmen, he like gets enlightened and then like disappears because he's like, you have no idea what I know. And it's like, okay, man, whatever.
There's theories that Bran is going to be like the big antagonist at the end of it.
Yeah, or
because he's like, of the magic of the children of the forest who still want to destroy all men or some shit.
Yeah, who knows, man? He's the memories of everything. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, either way, I don't regret watching it. I don't regret being a part. Have you seen the show Lost?
No, I never watched that show.
Okay, I was balls deep in Lost, and that show the ending of that show disappointed me.
The ending of that show disappointed literally everybody in existence.
It undid every season. It undid everything before it, dude. It wasn't
it just like Mario 2 or whatever? Everything was a dream or some shit.
I guess I don't. It was pretty much like, oh yeah, you were dead the whole time. Because one of the main theories was like, oh, they're already dead. They've been dead this whole time.
And that was pretty much
the whole thing. And they were like, no, that's not it. It's not that simple. And then it's like, yeah, it is that simple, actually. It's exactly what happened. So, I mean, there's other shows that did great endings, like Breaking Bad. We said at the same fucking time because we know that that's the one. The ending was perfect. Like, we all, even though we expected it, it just like
we all knew how it was gonna end.
We knew he was gonna die, but we were like, you know what? But it's okay. It makes sense. Like everything made sense. So yeah, that's it. All right, let's get to the fucking news, man, because there's some other shit that we can talk about, and I'm excited about tonight's episode. But let's see what it is. The first big thing on the bill, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yeah, the internet reacts to that Sonic trailer, dude. I mean, you guys have all seen this shit, man.
I will say that picture on Twitter right there, that one's not such a bad angle.
That's not is that from the actual film? I don't think so.
Yeah, that is. That's like when he's on the road, like squatting down about to sprint.
Yeah.
But you want to know why that's not so bad? Because in that frame, he looks symmetrical.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because the rest of his fucking head isn't showing. So his face doesn't look disproportionate. Because that's one of the big issues with the Sonic model, aside from looking like a guy in a fursuit.
Yeah, we're just looking at the trailer.
Is that his face, like all of his facial features, are shrunk down and so small compared to the overall size of his head.
Well, first of all, who asked for a Sonic movie? Nobody asked for a Sonic movie. And now, like, these proportions are weird because he's like a humanoid. He's like a man. He's a man hog
in a PJ suit. Yes. It's very strange. The proportions and body shape are weird. They kept a slightly large head, but it just gives him too much forehead compared to the rest of his face. And it also makes his hands and feet look even smaller. So they gave him like human proportions, but also not at the same time. So it looks really fucking weird.
Yeah, and how about Dr. Robotnik is a skinny Jim Carrey?
When they first announced everything about the Sonic movie, I was like, okay, this is going to be fucking horrible. And when they announced Jim Carrey as it, I was like, I don't know what they're going to do. But to me, he was the only good thing about this trailer.
The only good thing.
Like, I was like, you know what? I would actually be okay if they just made a Robotnik movie with Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik and leave Sonic out of it.
I mean, it's been said in chat, but did I put that in here? Yeah, so they decided this is the main thing that everybody's memed. This fucking shot right here.
That really shows you how like so many things are messed up with it.
Yeah.
The relation to the size of the eyes with the forehead, which like I said, his face is too small for his head.
Yeah.
The teeth, very strange.
Freaky looking
With the mouth.
teeth.
You can really see how small his hands are compared to the shape of his head. It's just so weird, dude.
Yeah. And the Sonic the Hedgehog film director promises to change reviled character design. I don't know how they're going to do that. The movie's done and they're going to go back and just fucking rework him. Did you guys see the artist that reworked him for live action? No, did they already?
There's been a lot, but have you seen like the good ones? There's been several.
I've seen a bunch of people fix it, but I don't know what the official change is though. I haven't seen the official change.
I don't know if there is an official one.
Yeah. I haven't seen. If you have a link, Josh.
That's the one I saw, Josh. There's other ones too, very similar to that. I mean, that just looks so much better.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, other people obviously did it better. That's the whole idea of it. The idea is that people
one on the
did
left,
it better.
which is the movie one, looks like a kid in a PJ suit.
It's so weird, dude.
It's so weird. Oh, it gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
It really gives me the heebie-jeebies. It's so creepy.
This fucking shot right here of his back too, like, it's just so weird, dude.
It literally creeps me out.
Yeah, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
It's real uncanny valley. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what it is. That's called uncanny valley. When it's too similar to mankind that we kind of get filed
you
by.
You can tell that it's not.
Yeah,
it's that weird position where you're like,
this is better right here. Whatever it's
I would 100% watch a Sonic movie.
Sonic the Hedgehog. But yeah, man, it's the plot. I don't understand why they're making this movie. See, like, they made a Pokemon movie.
It's gonna be like the Woody the Woodpecker movie.
Yeah, everyone's comparing it to Detective Pikachu, which the
Pikachu looks actually good.
It looks amazing because they took the concept of Pokemon and instead of trying to make like an origin story, like an Ash Ketchum live action, they're like, no, let's just pretend that it exists, Pokemon exists in this world and everybody knows about it, and make a story within that story. You know what I mean? And it made so much more sense. And it's so much better. Everyone's like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm going to watch that movie. I'm excited about that fucking movie. So, yeah, this shit is just weird, dude. The eyes, the mouth. Yeah, I don't know. So, do you think if they change the design that it'll be more of a desirable movie?
No, absolutely not. Seeing, like, of course, like any other, the reason I compared it to Woody the Woodpecker is it's just like Woody the Woodpecker.
Yeah.
It's some human, because they got to have a human main character, right? Because why would anybody, be fine with an animated main character? It's not like people write, make, and consume, adult animated movies or anything like that.
Yeah.
So this human character, who's the main character, finds the cartoon character, Woody the Woodpecker or Sonic the Hedgehog, and then there's some sort of conflict with this villain human character. And that's the whole thing. It's the exact formula that Woody the Woodpecker used. It's the same formula a lot of those kind of live action mixed with animation movies take. And it's really fucking annoying. It's a horrible, I think it's a horrible formula.
Also, this movie, I don't think it's meant for kids. I think it's actually meant for people that grew up playing.
See, that's what's so
Sonic.
Confusing. It's going to be a kids movie.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be PG. It's going to be marketed to kids. But I mean, like, the Sonic fans are more, I guess they're
adults.
Yeah, but they've continued to make Sonic content for kids for like 2 generations now, right? So
yeah, but I mean, I don't think that it ever caught on the way that they think it's caught on. Like, kids know who Sonic is because of video games. That's it. Like, he's there as a cameo appearance, and then they ask questions, and their parents are like, "Oh yeah, I used to play it growing up on Sega," and that's the extent of their knowledge. It isn't like this big. It's not. He's not SpongeBob. He's not fucking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's really not just like a kid's character.
Yeah.
He was. His prime time was for people that are adults now.
Yeah, that's what the thing. So this is a nostalgia movie. That's all it is. But it's a kids movie.
It's an animated character, so the executives are like, it's a kids movie.
Yeah.
So they make a kids movie.
So it's a kids movie for nostalgia, but the demographic is not kids, so it doesn't make fucking sense to make this movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just like Woody the Woodpecker. Again, I keep drawing references to Woody the Woodpecker, but I feel like it's literally a cookie cutter of that formula that Woody the Woodpecker movie used. Like
Yeah.
I really just think that's all it is. They say, hey, here's this kids movie formula that we do with all these other live action animated characters. Boom, Sonic movie. Like that's what they did.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Fuck Sonic. Let's talk about some other shit. All right, this was Cecilia D'Anastasio with another. Dude, if there is
God, will you hide your boner?
my boner.
Jesus
What do you
Christ.
mean? What boner?
Every time you mention her name, you just like start drooling.
Dude, she's the bane of Riot Games. She's their kryptonite, man.
Yeah.
She's been fucking over. If they're gonna send an assassin after her, dude, they're gonna send a hitman after her ass. But this is her next article. Riot employees plan to walk out to protest company blocking lawsuits from going to trial. So the people, I read this article. So what it's talking about is the whole sexual harassment shit that was happening at Riot Games. A lot of those people are suing the company. And somehow, some way, Riot Games and their lawyers were able to keep it out of a judicial court and put it into something called, I don't want to mince it, something arbitration. Private arbitration? Yeah.
Okay.
Into private arbitration. So pretty much what that means is the people suing and Riot Games will have a list to go through, which is the ACPA is like a government body, and it has a list of judges on it. So both of them will have to pick one that they agree on, and that person has control over everything, law and decision and everything, and it'll be behind closed doors.
Private arbitration basically becomes a civil issue at this point, right?
Yeah, so it's like me and you and the judge in a closed door with our lawyers, and that's it. There's nobody watching, there's no cameras, there's nothing. It's just us sitting there, and then whatever's decided there is law. That's it, period.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's it's all a civil issue, right? So it works differently than criminal law anyway. But at some point, all that, like, it becomes public after the fact. Like, everything's revealed. Like, they can't just like seal the documents or whatever.
Yeah. Well, the benefit to this is, I mean, a lot of people.
The only person who benefits is Riot.
Yeah. The only person that benefits is Riot, because this takes all the emotion out of it. This takes all of the outside pressure out of it. Anything that's going on in this trial will be private. Anything brought up will be private. So there is no outside influence or pressure on the judge to make any decision. He can just make a decision based on the facts.
I mean, you could also argue that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Technically, from a certain standpoint, that's a good thing. You don't want public opinion or emotional issues forcing any sort of jury or judge to make decisions that they don't agree with or that the law doesn't support, right?
Yeah.
So you could argue that's a good thing. I just think that this is a way that just solely benefits Riot, because I think it just gives them more control. They always have more control because they have more money.
Yeah.
But I think it just gives them more control over the proceedings of the situation than it would otherwise.
Yeah, and the reason they're able to do this is because all the employees signed a piece of paper during, when you first start your job, they make you sign all these fucking pieces of paper. On one of them, it said that you agree to private arbitration if there's any issues. So they pretty much signed up.
I think this was always just a civil issue, right? So I don't even, because there's no trial in civil issues anyway. So was this actually going to be a criminal case at some point?
I think it's different when it comes to a business. When it comes to
I don't know. I'm pretty sure like there's as long as it's a civil issue. If it's a lawsuit,
California Equal Pay Act. That's what it's a part of. So
okay.
Yeah, that's it. So that makes it so the private arbitration makes it much less likely that employees can hold employers accountable for alleged wrongdoings. So why, I don't know, but that it's widely known as being beneficial for. So this is where it is. I mean, if you guys want to read, I'm not going to read all this bullshit, but yeah, the one part that I read that made me, because I wanted to know what private arbitration is, and the people suing and Riot Games both have to agree on the same person. So it's not like Riot Games can be like, oh, this is our guy and let's get him in there. No, they both have to agree on the same person, and it's a list of government employees, government employed judges. Right. So I don't know.
The headline is really irking me because lawsuits don't go to trial in the first place, as far as I know.
Yeah, they're
I don't know.
I don't
So
know.
I'm not.
I don't
Maybe
know either.
I'm misunderstanding the overall situation. But as far as I know, I mean, suits don't usually go to a trial.
We've updated this article in its headline to clarify that Riot's position would force employees to go into arbitration process rather than to a jury trial, though that does not outright block employees from filing a suit against the company. Yeah, so you can file a suit, but it doesn't go to a jury trial. So a jury is probably more likely to side with an employee because they're all fucking, peers. So, and when it's an emotional thing, it's an emotionally charged thing. This whole sexual harassment stuff. So,
Well, I mean,
kinda get it.
anytime you, anytime you're dealing with people, a judge, maybe it's easier to try to rule out some sort of emotion on it. But
Yeah.
I mean, I guess when you add jury, people usually think it's a lot easier to appeal to jurors' emotions than it would be a judge.
Yeah. And the other big thing is it'll be private. So anything said in the courtroom, anything passed around will not make the news. There'll probably
But, I mean, that doesn't mean that, like, I think that just during the period of time it happens, it's private, right?
yeah.
But, like, I mean, after the fact, it's not like they seal anything, right? Everything goes public afterwards.
It just depends, I guess. Maybe because they signed an NDA, they can't talk about it. I don't know.
I guess that's part of it. Because I feel like no matter what, like, all of that's, it's all public information, right? So after the fact, it should be publicly released, as far as I know. But I mean, I'm not fucking paralegal, so I don't know what the fuck.
We'll find out, I'm sure. So that's that. Riot Games still working with that. Let's move on. Some cool, crazy shit. You down with that? Do you guys know who this Etika guy is? Etika?
Yeah.
Okay, so this guy was live streaming himself being detained by police. The video is right here. I think it was on Instagram Live. I'm not sure.
It's sad.
Yeah, it's they come in through the door.
The whole situation is real fucking sad.
The long and the short, the TLDR of this is the guy has mental health problems for sure.
He's had complete breakdowns in the past. Last year, he had this huge mental breakdown where I think he mentioned some stuff about suicide and then just like went fucking dark.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hubbub about it. So he's had like socially shown mental issues and breakdowns before. So this is just another instance of it happening. It's just sad.
While the police were like getting in that video, that's like a short clip of it. The police are like outside putting on their body armor and getting ready, and he's screaming out his window.
He's talking about a revolution.
Yeah.
And all sorts of other stuff. I mean, I understand why they went in body armor and shields because they know he's
they
mentally
don't. Yeah.
unstable.
I mean, that's just their
that's
their procedure. That's their procedure, no matter what.
But they didn't go in to hurt him, and they didn't hurt him.
No.
So
shortly after that,
went okay, and they didn't arrest him. It was just detention.
Yeah.
Like they only detained him, make sure that he wasn't a danger to himself or others. Basically, was the whole situation.
So after that, he was released, and then he fucking got into a fight with some police officer on the street.
Wait, oh my god, I missed that.
Yeah, he started a fist fight with some cop on the street.
He needs help. I mean,
Yeah,
he needs.
I don't know what this shaky video is all about, but he got into a physical altercation with a police officer. It was just some regular beat cop standing on the street, and he just started trying to punch him and swung at him. You can't really see it here, but yeah, he
needs some professional help
think you
because
can
they
see
need to work out
shit.
whatever the fuck's wrong with him.
So he's right here, and the police officer's right there. He has his hand in the police officer's face. I'm trying to pause it. All right, there you go. So he pushes the cop, which, Jesus Christ, I'm getting anxiety looking at it. Pushes the cop.
Yeah, well, I mean,
then,
especially when you put it in context, there's this black man running around picking fights with cops.
It was a black cop, too. He pushed the cop fell on the ground. Cop got back up. Yeah.
Like, there's a good chance you're going to get yourself fucking shot.
So then what happened was he was arrested. Then in his phone call, he called his ex-girlfriend and said, hey, can I borrow the cat? I want to like take care of the cat. And she's like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? You just went to jail. Like all this shit happened. And then he's like, I want the cat. Are you going to give me the fucking cat or not? And she's like, no. And he hung up on her. And he's like, I'm coming. Before he hung up, he's like, I'm coming over to get the cat. And then she's like freaking out. She doesn't know what the fuck's going on. The doctor called and said he's not been arrested. He's not going to jail. He's at the mental ward of a hospital, and not saying where and this and that. But he's not going anywhere, pretty much.
Well, at least he's somewhere like that. Like that's where he needs to be.
Yeah. So thank God in the sky, Erika's doctor called me and assured me he ain't leaving that hospital anytime soon.
Good. I mean, as long as like one, he's alive, which I mean, it could have ended a lot worse with police involved.
Yeah.
So he's alive and he's somewhere safe, so that's good, and nobody is hurt.
How does someone crack that bad though, dude? Start fighting with cops.
The human mind is a strange and sometimes fragile thing.
Big ups to the police department for not blasting this guy, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you've seen him fucking shoot people for way less.
Yeah, dude.
You know, so I mean, whoever's in charge.
Because they don't know. They don't know what the fuck. They just some guys coming at him. They don't know if he has mental health issues. What the fuck's going on, dude? You know, they have a family to go to at the end of the day. So
whoever's in charge of that police force seems to be doing a good job.
Yeah. So
because they're not just randomly shooting mentally
ill people.
troubled people.
All right, next piece of news. Good luck, dude. Epic Games has bought Psyonix and Rocket League. So if you guys are used to playing Rocket League on Steam for all these years,
get fucked, buddy.
Get fucked. It'll be supported till the end of 2019. Then you'll have to download the Epic launcher to start playing the game. It will no longer be supported by Steam. So yeah, Steam after it comes to Epic Store in late 2019, but will continue to be supported. Oh, never mind. So it'll still be supported by Steam. I don't know how that works.
Buy it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. But they also said that they're going to invest $100 million for Rocket League esports.
It's a good thing for the esports scene.
That's fucking a lot of money, dude. And the thing about Rocket League is you don't have to know how to play the game. It's soccer with cars. Yeah, it's easy to watch. You know what I mean?
Have you ever watched?
Yeah, it's hype as fuck, dude.
Dude, the craziest shit. Craziest fucking shit. I've played Rocket League, and I'm like, I don't even understand the physics behind what they're doing.
It's hype as fuck, dude. It's super hype. I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but I know that ball needs to go in that net, and everyone's screaming. So, yeah, wish they would have bought HOTS as Prince. Yeah, rest in peace, HOTS. But yeah, there it is. Epic Games is going to have Rocket League now. They're going to own Rocket League. That's a totally different situation than just having it in their store. You know what I mean? And then what is the next one? This one. I wanted to talk about this. Developers are already starting to decline Epic exclusivity deals because of potential brand damage. So now all these studios are afraid to even think about going on Epic, you know, like
as exclusives right now to boost their platform. They're trying to get signed exclusivity deals, right? Because it forces people on their platform, and that's the biggest hurdle to get over as this type of platform. You need people on it. Once you got them on there, it's a whole lot easier to keep them there or have them buy other stuff. But getting them there is hard, and so the exclusivity deals is a way for them to get in the door for people. But exclusivity deals people generally don't like because people like using what they want to use. And if they don't want to use Epic, well, they just don't want to. And so developers being okay with and signing these exclusivity deals often puts a bad taste in consumers' mouths and can hurt their brand name.
Yeah, and this is good news. Months ago, CD Projekt Red publicly stated that they are giving any possibility of exclusivity or co-exclusivity for Cyberpunk 2077 a pass on Twitter. So they're not going to have any of this exclusivity bullshit. It's going to be available to everybody on whatever platform. Right. And Chris Avalon, who used to work at Obsidian, called the Outer World exclusivity deal a cash grab. He's currently a writer for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. So
I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
You have this publisher walk up to you with a big wad of cash and say, "Hey, be exclusive with us for 6 months or forever, and this wad of cash is yours, baby."
Wait, aren't you owned majorly by Tencent, who is a shill for the Chinese government?
Right.
Listen, man, just that's all allegedly.
Here's a wad of cash.
Do you want the wad of cash or not, motherfucker? So yeah, there's that. At first I thought, this is dead in the water, this whole Epic Games thing. Then one by one, we hear announcements of like this game's gonna be on it, that game's gonna be on it, Borderlands 3 is gonna be fucking on it. It's like, dude, What can we fucking do, man? I'm gonna be.
I mean, no matter what, games will go on it because one, it's a platform and it's a store.
Yeah.
So you'd be stupid not to put your game on there.
Yeah.
Because you can have it on multiple storefronts, right? That's easy. The deal, there's no issue with that. The issue really is the exclusivity deals.
Mhm.
And that's what Epic wants. And that's what consumers generally don't want. They want, hey, if you want to buy it on the Epic store, that's your choice. What they don't want is to be forced to use the Epic store to have
Yeah.
it.
Do you think they because they have that 80/20, right? They're giving developers 80%.
Right. I think that's another big selling point. It's Walmart tactics. It's Tencent tactics they've used in other places.
Do you think they're taking a
Similar to
loss?
price gouging. 100%. They've even said it's not sustainable.
They're taking a loss for it, huh? Motherfuckers. I knew
Yeah,
it.
they're taking just like Walmart does. Tencent does this in China.
Yeah.
They enter a market, they price gouge, destroy the smaller competitors in the market until they can't go on anymore, and then they buy them.
Yeah.
So similar tactics. Some people could say, well, it's maybe they're just getting into the market and that's fine, but it's still questionable.
Yeah. Who knows?
I feel like even if they had just opened their storefront and started getting people to publish games on them without exclusivity, without really offering too many more like boosts and benefits, people would still put their games on there because you got thousands of kids launching Epic every day to play Fortnite.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like they'd be fine without all this exclusivity deal and stuff.
Yeah,
I feel like they would have been
this
able to naturally grow without all this.
Yeah, but this exclusivity stuff, they needed to strong arm Valve,
Right.
by doing this. So like this is the tactic to strong arm them and be like, hey, we're a player. You know what I mean? By being direct competition and undercutting their clients and stealing their clients, they're trying to, it's a show of force. That's all it is. And that's the only way you can break up a monopoly like Valve has had.
Right.
So it makes sense that they're doing it. It's kind of shitty. The problem is that the Epic Store doesn't have all the features that Steam does. And a lot of people have complained about their customer service in the past. They say like compared to Steam,
There's lots of complaints.
Yeah.
And I mean, there have been tons of complaints against Steam.
it's just
All right.
compared to Steam that
But
Steam is
in
way
recent-
better.
In recent times,
Yeah.
comparatively, there have been a lot of complaints about Epic's customer service being pretty much non-existent compared to Steam's these days.
Yeah, ironically, their customer service is not Epic.
Right.
All right, next piece of news. Let's move on. Ubisoft wants to kill off key reselling by using silent key activation. So pretty much what this means is they're still going to give you a CD key for your games, but it's going to be a hidden CD key. So something that is server side on their end, and that you wouldn't have access to. So that way, places like G2A and all those other key selling sites, they're pretty much trying to put them out of business that way. And I think it's genius. If it does actually work, it literally just puts that whole business on its ass.
Yeah, I mean, I always have mixed feelings about the way the software is going. This idea of you buying the rights to be able to use software.
Yeah,
I think
it's
is
tricky.
shady, and I think it's just bad. I think it's bad for everybody, but of course, the large companies that own the IP to do this kind of stuff.
You don't own the game; you own a license to the game.
Correct. So it's very different. I can go, buy a DeWalt circular saw from Home Depot.
And it's
I own
yours.
that circular saw.
Yeah.
I can do whatever the fuck I want with that circular saw. They can never
They can never come to your house and be like, "Hey, your time's
never
up."
rescind my rights to use it.
Yeah.
They cannot keep me from privately selling it later
And if
on.
they don't like the way I'm using it, they can't come in and tell me, "Hey, that's not the correct way to use it. We don't want you using it."
This is how product transactions should work.
Yeah.
Is you buy and you own what you bought.
They can't take away your DeWalt circular saw because of your political, whatever you say politically or, shit like that. But they can with video games.
Right. Now, there are some issues where it can't be exactly like that sort of, physical ownership of stuff because you can't, own the code that it's written on.
Yeah.
You can't, cheat on their servers and stuff like that. But then you start dealing with DRM and always online and different stuff like that, and it just starts getting really murky and borderline anti-consumer.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that was put into place to combat piracy, but then we lost a lot of rights as a consumer.
That's such an excuse.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That was their
piracy-
they were like kind of like it's scorched earth tactics. It's like we don't give a fuck who loses on this. We can't lose to piracy.
They don't, but that's the problem too. Is these large companies don't lose to piracy?
Yeah,
They don't.
They never
Even
do.
if piracy was just widespread and everything,
Yeah.
they still wouldn't be losing to piracy.
It's a principle thing more than anything. You know what I mean?
So they just want to try to have potential customers not slip through the cracks to piracy,
Yeah.
and they don't care about damaging the rest of the consumer base.
And they call this
And they have the
whole
power to not care. So
they call this whole key reselling business the gray market because it's not the black market and it's not like a legitimate source according to them. It's kind of like this gray area where they have the right to do it, but
it's not legitimate according to who? The people that own everything.
yeah, they think it's stealing, but the law says it's not stealing. So
It's not
they call it a gray
It's not
market.
stealing. It's not stealing.
It's not.
Let's call it what it is. This is large corporations fucking everyone because they can.
Yeah.
They might be able to make a few more pennies from it.
All right, next piece of news. It's interesting because it's a new thing. I've never heard of something like that.
Well, the same thing's happening with tractors.
Really?
Yeah, because of John Deere. Like, there's issues with right to repair. People are trying to get right to repair laws passed.
Oh.
Because there's issues with like John Deere tractors and stuff have become really sophisticated now, and with software and computers just like vehicles, right? So things get a little hairy when stuff breaks down. Farmers are what's it called when you crack your phone? Jailbreak your phone.
Jailbreaking, yeah.
Farmers are jailbreaking their tractors and putting Ukrainian software on their tractors.
So they can use them. I remember
So
we
that
covered
get
that.
around like issues with like John Deere software and like stopping them from repairing their own tractors and shit like that.
That's right. We talked about it on the podcast a few, I think last year or something like that.
So that, and I draw a connection between what we see with laws going on with this type of stuff directly correlates to issues there.
Yeah,
with
it's
how we
software.
treat software
Mhm.
ownership and stuff like that. It's really dangerous.
Yeah. All right. Borderlands 3 gameplay reveal, everything we learned. Have you seen this thing? It was like a whole like 2-hour Twitch thing. Did you
I
watch
didn't
any of
watch
it? No.
No.
Did you want to watch it or you want to be
Fuck
surprised?
Well, it's just gameplay, right?
Well, it's them showing like all the new shit that they're adding to the game. There's a lot of cool stuff.
I don't care
man.
about being surprised. It looks cool. Like I've seen some gameplay. But no, I didn't see like the in-depth them going over the skill trees and stuff like that.
Yeah, I won't go into it because it's a lot, but pretty much what the brass tacks of it is, it's Borderlands 2 with a lot of new enhancements. A lot. Like a lot of quality of life stuff, a lot of new stuff to the skill tree that helps you customize in different ways. Cool new like weapon effects, like one of them, he was reloading his gun, and you know how they throw the gun to explode? I think Torg does that. This one,
it's a certain type of gun that does.
Yeah, like this one right here that we're seeing, his Hyperion shotgun makes a little shield around it when you use
they're
it.
still from Apex Legends. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. And the one major thing that really, first of all, I was going to play this game anyway, but
Well,
after
fuck
they
yeah,
showed
dude.
after they showed all this shit, I was like so much more hyped. But it has that whole running slide thing that you can do, like
I
in
just saw that. Holy
yeah,
shit,
like in Apex. There's female psychos, and then
gender equality about time.
the one big thing about this game that was always an issue. You know, when we would play, we'd be like, "Oh, what level is your guy? Okay, let me see if I have an alt that's around the same level." Well, that shit doesn't need to be done anymore because there's instance looting. So we all see our own loot, and it's at our level. So if you're in the beginning area, a beginning boss, and we both kill the boss, it'll drop loot for both of us. And when you look at it, it'll be at your level. When I look at it, it'll be at my level, no matter what. Right. So it's kind of the stuff that Guild Wars does, where it brings everybody down to the same level.
Similar, just with loot, so that like different levels don't feel bad playing with each other.
Yeah. So pretty much, if I have a favorite character that I've been playing, I don't have to like make an alternate character just to play with you. which is fucking awesome, dude. That's a big thing with this game because
I think that is pretty big because that happened a lot.
Yeah, WoW's done that for a while. Yeah, that was a big thing.
It's definitely not a new thing. It's
Yeah.
just really nice quality of life change for any game.
Diablo 3 does it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice change.
Yeah. So yeah, the long and the short of it is Borderlands 3, which will be on the Epic Store, is
Exclusively for 6 months at least, right?
yeah. It's supposed to be 4 times bigger, I think, than any of the other Borderlands. I'm not sure if that's the exact number, but yeah, it's supposed to be bigger, cooler. There's interstellar travel and stuff like that, and
I'm super hyped, dude.
It just looks awesome, man. Everything about it looks
I don't
so
care.
awesome.
I'll download Epic for it. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, I will. There's no if that's my only option.
I'll let
then
the Chinese government have my social security
fuck
number
it,
for
dude.
that.
Fuck it. That's it. So yeah, I didn't want to watch too much because I didn't want it to be spoiled. But yeah, that's the whole
I
point
don't
of
care
it.
about spoilers. Not for games like this.
And if you did watch,
It looks so good and fun, dude.
if you watched the reveal, you noticed that Claptrap's voice sounded weird. And that's because David Edding, who was the voice of Claptrap all these years, is not in Borderlands 3. And his reason, no, for the first time, I insisted on getting paid for my performance. And all of a sudden, they couldn't afford me. Now, I'm not telling them how to run their business, but maybe next time they should put the $12 million payment from 2K in the Gearbox bank account instead. Just saying. So he says it was his first time ever asking for a pay bump. And they pretty much just said no. And they went another way. And they totally hired another guy to do the voice of Claptrap, which it's obvious. You're like, whoa. You're like, wait a minute. That guy sounds a little different. He kind of sounds the same, but a little bit different. And it's like, what did they do to Claptrap? But
What a fucking scab.
Yeah. So that's it. That's
Whoever that voice actor is that took it.
Yeah. It's crazy, though, right? Anyway. Where have I heard 4 times? Oh, yeah. Fallout 76 was 4 times better. I think that's where I got it from, too. 4 times bigger, I mean. All right, next piece of news. Sam Charles. Do you know about this guy? He's a famous YouTuber.
Yeah, it all was going down like a couple of years ago.
Not Sam Charles, sorry. This guy. Austin Jones.
I don't know his name.
So
but
YouTube...
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, YouTube star Austin Jones has pleaded guilty to receipt of child pornography last February, and prosecutors... Well, he was just sentenced to 10 years in prison, and some of the shit that he did was he asked his fans to send him videos, like little girls, to send him videos to prove that they're big fans. And those are the kind of stuff that he was asking for. Yeah, butthole pics from 12-year-old girls and stuff like that. Piece of shit. But yeah, I don't know anything about him. Let me open the door for Timmy real quick.
I don't really know anything about it either. It was like some YouTube drama a couple years ago. But other than that, like I know literally zero about, like, I saw a thread on Reddit earlier today, and I didn't really read it. I just saw it.
The guy looks like a piece of shit, so good for you, dude. Good for you. But yeah, I was hoping maybe you knew something about him.
No, I remember when like there was a bunch of accusations going around. I think it was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
A year ago. I don't know. But I didn't realize like anything ever came of it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's it. I was hoping Hope he interacts with Gen Pop on the regular. Yeah, no, usually people like him, they go into a special jail, a special wing of the jail that's literally reserved for child molesters and snitches, informants, because those are the two that'll get pretty much killed immediately in jail. So there's that. All right, next piece of news. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order gameplay will be shown next month, Respawn confirms. So we'll get to see.
Brother.
We'll get to see what it's all about.
My hog is fully torqued.
I'm torqued, but I'm kind of... I mean, I know that they're going to make a good single-player game. From everybody that I talked to that played Titanfall 2, they said it's the best. It's so fun. The campaign is fun. Everything is really fun about it. The multiplayer is okay, but the campaign was really fun. So in that sense, I'm happy, but I'm not happy with how Apex has turned out. Apex Legends. A lot of the content...
I think we talked about that last week or 2 weeks ago. About the issues that Respawn was having with that.
They lost
I-
75% of their viewership on Twitch. I mean, content sucks. It's just yeah.
I'm still pretty hyped and hopeful because I know they can make a really good single player experience. The main issue with Apex and their issue with Apex is just some of their decisions about patching and they're not rolling out content like they should. So I don't think any of that's really is going to be a reflection of what they do with like single player stuff. I think I'm still pretty hopeful about what they could do.
The picture you posted, and no, if you can relink it, I think I might have. I'm not sure. Prince
Had less viewers than Overwatch this morning.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Had less viewers than Overwatch. Yeah. Yeah, nobody's really watching Apex anymore. I mean, I'm not playing it anymore.
It's not staying fresh like their biggest competitor.
Yeah, it's not. Everybody's gone back to playing whatever they wanted to play. So
Really, what it boils down to.
So there is that. Next month we'll have some cool news. China PC. Well, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was reiterating how fucking excited I am for that fucking game.
Yeah, I mean it's cool, man. It's cool to have a good Star Wars. There's cool Star Wars stuff coming over the horizon, except for
gives me that Dark Forces Jedi Knight feeling. Oh man, I'm just gonna jerk it so hard.
Yeah, it's cool. The only thing that's not cool is the main fucking storyline. How is that possible? Like the main actual like Star Wars movies suck balls, dude.
I know.
It's like, how the fuck does that make sense? Everything else around it, video games, novels, animated series, comic books, everything else, fucking awesome, dude. But the movies suck, dude. It's like, what the fuck is going on? I don't understand how that's possible.
I'm pretty. I think that Disney has said they're going to be taking a break from like the main like Star Wars Episode X's for a while after they wrap up.
Yeah,
this trilogy, which I think is a good thing. I think they just need to tell new stories from different perspectives, from all sorts of different people around the galaxy at different periods of time. Whenever the Star Wars universe is vast, it's cool. Lots of really cool lore to explore.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be good for them getting away from this idea of there's this big one main arcing storyline of Star Wars. I think they really it'll be beneficial to really explore the galaxy and explore new stories.
So TY says the movies aren't even bad. Well, that's like your opinion, man, because we have seen how Star Wars can be good. We've seen the bar has set really high.
Prequels were masterpieces.
Well, I mean, what I mean is the video games. The video games and the novels, the stories, whenever they're written by fans of the series and that are, legitimate writers, they make magic, dude, with the stories. So the potential for a good Star Wars story is always there. The problem is that they just haven't executed it yet. But anyway, let's move on. There will soon be more PC gamers in China than the total population of the United States. I mean,
hell yeah, brother.
I mean, this trend has been an obvious trend in the business of video games. They've moved towards that whole, like, we need to get that Chinese market. The Chinese market is a major thing, and this is why. Because they know that their entire business can be sustained off the Chinese market.
Just Chinese market.
That's it. Like, if they just catered to the Chinese market, their entire business model would be sustained. That's why PUBG Corp does not give a fuck about putting more than one server in fucking North America. You know what I mean? So there's that. But this is crazy. Despite a year-long licensing freeze on new game approvals, PC gaming in China is a behemoth of $16 billion industry. Damn.
Huge, buddy.
That's huge.
We've known it's been coming for a long time. We already saw it with move to mobile games because of how big the mobile market in China is. So, I mean, this has been a long time coming.
Dude.
And we've just seen moves of it via the mobile market. So I think we're really going to start seeing more and more moves in even PC games and stuff, possibly.
This paragraph tells you everything. Over 24% of Steam users have set their language to simplified Chinese, and China is the biggest source of download traffic from Steam. Okay, a quarter of all Steam users is insane. First of all, earlier this year, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds said that Asia contributed to 53% of its $920 million in revenue. 53% just from Asia, dude. Why would they give a fuck about North America? Why? 40 because it's 47%. Well, no, because then there's Europe and all the other.
I mean,
ones.
they're always going to care about every market,
Yeah.
but because every market provides money and revenue, so
Yeah.
every market is important. But it's not going to be surprising when we see a lot of American game companies really trying harder and harder to cater towards Chinese markets. I mean, they already do in a lot of ways. I mean, they republish games and change things, core things in the game, mechanics and visually for Chinese markets.
Dude, they make a totally different game just for China. Like,
Right.
they
We
do whatever
see-
they want.
Absolutely. We see Hollywood do all sorts of things like that with movies because being cut out of the Chinese market is very bad for business.
Yeah.
So we see it in a lot of ways already. It's very likely that we may see more apparent decisions and stuff being made as far as that goes, to where it may not be beneficial to be making your main game Western Central and then making changes for the Chinese market. People may be producing games that are Chinese Central and then maybe making changes for the Western market if they think it'd be worth it.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, the way that it says here that the esports is the strongest driver of growth for China's PC game market. Esports revenue was $6.3 billion in 2018, accounting for 41.4% of PC online games revenue. Wow, dude. Half of online video games revenue globally came from China. And their esports is bigger than anything that we have over here. I mean, that kind of money that's not even Dota money, is it? $6.3 billion?
Oh, Dota doesn't have that kind of money.
I mean, Dota's probably a chunk of it, but not that much, dude. That's crazy. Anyway, China #1, baby. It's not just a meme.
It's not just a meme.
All right, next piece of news. Activision Blizzard has very large ambitions for the Overwatch universe, apparently. We're continuing to dedicate the resource and attention to grow the franchise over time. Recently, people have been... I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody in chat, but people have been upset with Overwatch and calling it stale. And I know that most games, people always complain about the meta and, like, MOBAs and stuff like that. That's, like, a normal thing. I'm not talking about, like, the normal complaints. There's like rhetoric that it's been a little extra, that they're upset with the growth of it, that it's not moving at the pace that they would like it to, and it's becoming a stale game. And I don't know if anybody can confirm or deny that, but they said that they're going to add a bunch of new shit soon. Let's see here.
Yeah, I mean, I've played Overwatch for a good while there, and I mean, I think stale gameplay is a valid critique because changes in content does come out pretty slowly. I think it was a very similar issue that HOTS had, really.
Yeah.
The game just feels stale over long periods of time until major changes get released, and then it feels a little fresh, but it pretty quickly becomes stale again.
Yeah, that's the problem.
When you're looking at games like Fortnite, again, I keep referencing Fortnite just because they do it so well. That constantly keeps viewers and gamers, high-end gamers, everyone enthralled, entertained, and interested. Is just the content. Always changing, always updating, something being changed, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
I mean, they just do a really good job of constantly keeping people interested. And in this day and age where Fortnite is just churning shit out to keep people interested, it really shows how other games can really just start to feel stale when there's not constant changes.
Yeah, actually, there is a detriment to that, though, because the changes have come so fast and so quickly, and there's such meta-changing changes that the esports scene has been complaining. They're like, dude, before a major tournament, they just like release they add airplanes to the game. And it's like, what the fuck do you mean you're adding airplanes to the game? Like we've been practicing this whole meta, and now you're just like flipping the meta on us like a week before this tournament. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they've said that they're going to continue doing that.
Yeah, it just shows us how it's hard to strike a balance on a lot of things, right? and it just shows you how there's going to be benefits and costs to any sort of decision you make.
Yeah.
You try to be too meticulous and smart with your content and changes, your game can feel stale after long periods of time.
Yeah.
You churn out content and make it really interesting for most people playing it to always be interested, always something new. That's great for your big player base, but you can hurt your esports scene if you don't do it right or carefully enough. So, I mean, there's cost benefit to anything like this.
Actually, I don't think that they even hurt their esports, because the esports is going to happen no matter what. They're just complaining. They're complaining, but they're still having the tournaments go on. You know, It's not like they're canceling tournaments because of the changes. They're letting the tournaments happen, but they're just complaining that the changes are coming too rapidly.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think Epic, Prince says Epic doesn't profit as much off of esports as they do off cosmetics. Oh, well, for sure. Yeah. I mean,
for sure. So, and that's the thing. Yeah. The Epic made their choice. They're like, we want to keep the game fresh constantly for the main player base that's always wanting to play, always want new content, always grinding out those new skins, and they're doing a good job of it. And at the cost of that, they maybe have some issues in their esports community. They're perfectly fine with that from what it seems, and that's their choice.
Yeah.
Blizzard is trying to facilitate more of an esports-oriented thought process to some of the stuff they do. Not always, because, I mean, there's a lot of fucking shit they do that hurts esports.
Yep.
But more so than like Epic is. So it can cause issues of feeling stale for the main player base, but it also does help them keep a handle on balancing as far as competitive goes at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a little more of a balanced approach.
The problem is esports in general is such a niche thing, you know? You're talking about a small percentage of a population that even give a shit about esports.
Absolutely.
You know?
And you have to be a big popular game to have like a good esports scene in the first place, because the thing that makes esports popular is people watching it.
Yeah.
It's how are you going to make your money with your esports scene if people are watching it? Well, if your game isn't big and popular and people don't give a shit, well, nobody's going to fucking watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. Blizzard said they're not going to be at Gamescom either this year, so they cut HOTS esports.
Blizzard is doing a lot of restructuring, so it's not surprising that we're not seeing them more running around showing stuff off.
We knew that 2019 was going to be a shit year for Blizzard as far as not shit, just like compared to all the other years of them making like big fucking like, check this out, we got this for you. Like, it's none of that shit this year. This year's like a stale year for Blizzard.
Right.
So, Prince saying I'm surprised they're doing BlizzCon. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess I don't think they could cancel BlizzCon in good conscience. It's like the only thing that they could keep going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. It would be very strange for them to be like, oh, no BlizzCon this year.
Yeah.
It would be strange. And I think it would be a really bad sign to the public of what the company's going through. And I don't think they want to do that.
Yeah. All right. Next piece of news. Let's watch. Risk of Rain sells more than 1 million copies in just a month. Not a bad start. Nice. Yeah, Risk of Rain 2. They showed their roadmap of stuff that they're going to do. I think there it is, the development roadmap.
I'll say this. The magma worm changes and the changes to burning made the game feel so much better.
Yeah, no, the changes are great. The game was fun. After I got my run where like the game broke and like things were not showing up and there was like no end to it, I just stopped playing. So I'm really
wait for that content.
I'm waiting for a big content patch, and then I'll probably start playing it again.
That's where I'm at right now. Absolutely fun game. Yeah. We'll absolutely play it in the future. Right now, just waiting for the fresh content to drop.
Yeah, if you've never played it, it'll be a good like 200 hours or less of gameplay for you. I don't know how many hours. Let me check how many hours I have on this. Because it's a good like yardstick to see how long it took me to stop playing. 113 hours, and then I was like starving for content. So
yeah, I put probably about 100 or so hours into it before until I sort of like stopped and I was like, okay, I'll wait for some content. I'll play it through everything, like unlocked all the items, played a lot, broke the game several times, played a lot with friends. So just waiting for them to add some more content to get me back into it. Definitely fun game.
That's it. And all you guys in chat trying to get me off the podcast, I'm the king, all right? I'm the captain now. Fucking, there's no coup here, all right? This is a John Tatership, all right? 1,000 hours or bust. Yeah, Cox Johnson is that fucking unicorn. that just puts like 30,000 hours into a game. All right, next piece of news. As fate would have, oh dude, did you fucking see this shit? Holy fuck. There was a typhoon in Hong Kong. Check out this giant plane that's like a fucking passenger plane, all right? Those big giant planes.
Yeah.
The typhoon was so...
John, you don't have to describe what it is.
All right, watch this and tell me how your butthole doesn't pucker up while you're watching this, all right? Let me mute it, though. Oh my god. It barrel rolls like 10 feet off the ground, dude. Oh my god. Look at that thing, dude. That's fake?
Yes.
What do you mean it's fake?
Is it fake?
Wife
Oh my
says
God.
it's fake. Is it fake?
So gullible.
Fake? Someone wrote fake. Is it fake?
Bro, what kind of... Sorry, it's your podcast.
Yeah. True hero. Someone said he's a true hero. The typhoon's not fake. Is that shit fake, guys? God damn it. I got bamboozled.
Have you bamboozled us, John?
I mean, it looks real. Fuck, now that I'm looking at it, it does kind of look CGI.
I have no idea. I can't comment on the realistic nature of what planes and plane can and can't do in those situations. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
what
don't
we're
know
looking at
at that
is...
speed in a sideways direction like that. If the wings would snap apart, I have no idea. I don't know what the tensile strength of the wings in those kind of situations are.
You should know these things, god damn it. All right.
So I cannot comment on the validity of the claim of what is fake or not.
Also, what is as fate would have it, hoping all my friends in Hong Kong are safe. I don't know what that means. That's like some anime shit. Anyway, next piece of news. I guess it's fake. Who knows? 2 clients of a spa that offered vampire facials are diagnosed with HIV.
Oh God, that feels bad. But at the same time, I almost feel like you deserve it.
Yeah, Prince says there's nothing on Google for it, so there's that. But yeah,
John, just give me the 411. What the fuck's a vampire spa?
okay, so this facial, this thing was popularized by the Kardashians. They did it on their show. This is a rich people thing. So what they do is
rich people do fucking weird stuff like rub babies' foreskins on their face.
Yeah,
which is
this is
fucking
along
sick.
the same line.
I mean, it's weird shit, man. Eat the rich.
Yeah. So what you do is you go to a spa and they give you injections in your face of blood, and what it's supposed to do is revitalize your body.
They inject blood into their face.
Yeah. They inject blood into their face, and it's supposed to revitalize your skin because I don't know. I mean, it sounds like it's something that would work, but it's not. It's like science, you know what I mean?
Who does this kind of stuff and is like, oh, it does this, and I'm just like, show me the scientific study.
I know, dude. They use their own blood. Sometimes they use their own blood, but the problem was that they were reusing needles, and someone got HIV and 2 people got HIV from it.
Well, surely that's a big old lawsuit that'll set them for the rest of life.
Yeah,
right?
so it's plasma extracted from a client's own blood, then injected into the patron's face. So they take out your blood and then they put it in your face.
Hey, you know that thing that your body naturally circulates through your body to every, organ, including your skin, constantly to nourish it, the blood that already goes to your skin? We're going to take it out of you and then re-inject it into your face for no fucking reason whatsoever. Yeah. And it's supposed to do something.
It's supposed to, dude, are you kidding me? There's this trend, there's this thing that one of our friends was trying to push on us. Her daughter had this like ankle bracelet on, and we were like, what is that? And she's like, oh, the stones on there are a special stone that help with teething. It sends like an energy throughout her body and helps her with teething. And I was like, what? So I looked that shit up. I wanted to be open-minded. I was like, maybe there is some kind of magnetic something. I looked it up online. And
the magnets help with her teeth.
Yeah.
What?
How do they work? So apparently it was all bullshit, obviously.
Of course it's all bullshit. The stones have energy. Give them to Thanos.
Dude, they were also fucking said not to, like, it was, the FDA was like, do not fucking put this on your kids. It's a choking hazard. They'll break it and put it in their mouth and they'll fucking die. So don't do that. So I was like, yeah, I'm definitely not fucking doing that shit. Fucking healing. Lol, California. I know, that's what we do. We're bored out here, okay?
So they start shoving rocks up their ass for healing.
Have you ever heard of a sound bath? It's where you lay down and they play these like frequency waves on speakers, and it's supposed to like envelop your body. A sound bath, dude. Sound bath is the shit, dude. Come on, man. Sound bath. It's for fucking. It's for these losers. Another thing that the
I was
Kardashians
at
did.
the nuclear bomb that hit Hiroshima.
6-minute sound bath, dude. You don't want to. It's a yoga thing. You just
No.
sit down and
Look at those. They look dirty. The people look dirty.
the people.
They look like hippies. Look at them.
We're just natural. We're a part of nature. This is how natural nature. Yeah. So they're sitting around candles, and they're playing music. Let's hear some of the music.
I'm glad I can't hear
Oh,
this
you
right
can't. They're just fucking
sorry, look at it.
shit like that, dude. Oh man.
They look disgusting. Look at them. They make me feel dirty just looking at these people. I am
This is
going to
too
take
much.
a bath after watching this.
This is too much internet. All right. Anyway, last piece of news. Oh man, this shit was fucking hilarious. So these two guys won the Fortnite tournament, and they were interviewed and asked like, "What do you think about the game?" Or "What do you think about this? What are your thoughts?" And they said, "Yeah, we're quitting Fortnite because we don't like the state that the game is in." These are the people that won the tournament.
Nice.
Yeah, and they just straight up called out Epic and said, we don't like the way that the game is, so we're quitting Fortnite and we're gonna play something else." And they're like, cut the feed.
I mean,
So-
and we just discussed it. I mean, it really just depends on what Epic wants more, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, Jack Studdard and Ibrahim J. Diaz. Those are the two gamers that won the Fortnite tournament. And that's it.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. I mean, we can listen to the interview
Next
here.
for
It's
this
30
duo,
seconds.
Another season,
No,
more
I
tournaments,
can't
the
hear it,
online
John.
I know,
circuit,
but it's
how's
for
it
everybody
going?
else.
Honestly,
Fuck everybody
we
else.
don't really like the game that much.
Honestly,
Your
we
wife
don't
doesn't
really
know how
like
to
the
operate a
game.
coffee
Not gonna
machine.
lie, so we'll see what happens. Epic is kind of messing around a little bit with
He said, honestly, we don't like the game that much, and we'll see what happens.
the way they're bouncing.
Honestly,
so.
the way that Epic
I'm pulling the
balancing
plug
things,
on that
I don't
one.
like
Give us a
it.
better answer.
It wasn't like, fuck Epic, or it was actually very,
No, I expected it to be like that from what you said. So.
John, don't speak over them. Czar was already speaking over them.
Yeah, I didn't let them speak.
And I
Fuck 'em.
reiterated what they said, so who gives a fuck? You can look it up. But yeah, that's the
They're here.
situation.
Well, we've decided we don't want to play like competitive Fortnite anymore, so we're gonna move on to different games or just probably like do different stuff.
Yeah, it was very respectful. You know, we just don't like the way competitive Fortnite is right now. We're just gonna move on to other things. So that's it. Same. Did Nightbot just say same for
Why
no
did
reason?
Nightbot just say same? I saw the same thing.
What the fuck?
What the fuck happened? Nightbot's haunted.
Is there someone? Oh, you know what? I think someone that's banned said same. And does that work? If like
What? No, if you can't say stuff if you're banned.
Nightbot agrees with it. What the fuck? Nightbot just said same in chat. That's a command. When you say same, it says same.
But
See?
it said same on its own.
It said same on its own.
Ooh.
There's some weird fucking
Real
shit
spooky.
going on, dude. There's some weird fucking shit going on, dude. Skynet. It's China, dude.
Can't mods manually make Nightbot say commands?
Yeah, but I don't
without
think my
saying anything.
mods are that smart.
You don't think Prince is that smart?
I don't think anybody is that smart in my chat.
I'm not.
The only thing I could think about is somebody that was banned said same, and we didn't see what they said, but it's still triggering
don't-
Nightbot.
I don't know how it would because Twitch won't send the chat. It'll just throw them an error.
Fuck. Fuck you, John, says Cox, one of my mods. Look, prove me wrong. Do some sick shit. Do a flip.
Yeah.
Alright, do you have anything you want to plug, Czar? Are you going to start streaming again, or what?
I have no idea, dude.
Are you going to have children?
Fuck no.
Alright, well,
I'll
nothing
leave
new.
that shit up to you. Have enough for both of us.
No, Nightbot doesn't automatically say it. He's never done that before, or it's never done that before. I don't want to misgender Nightbot.
Yeah, careful there.
That was weird, dude. I'm still trying to figure out how the fuck that happened.
Who
Anyway.
knows? Nightbot's on the fritz.
All right,
It
guys.
was just, he's become sentient and was just agreeing with Prince.
Yeah, that's it. All right, guys. You can check me out on the Wise and Sassy podcast. Wife and I have a special surprise for episode 100. It's in the works. Episode 100 of this podcast, we're still trying to figure out what to do. Or maybe we have it figured out already, huh? You don't know. You don't know. When is that? It'll come up soon. I think we're doing episode 98 today, so 2 more weeks is 100 with wife and I. But yeah, the Wise and Sassy podcast is available on iTunes. So is this podcast. We're available on Spotify. You just have to look for it. Spotify just said fuck you pretty much. They said we're working on it, and then I hit them up again. They said, yeah, we're still working on it, and then I never got a response. So I don't think they give a fuck. Which is gonna be great when this podcast is huge, and they're like, oh, we'd love to support you, and I'll be like, no, I'm taking us off the platform because you never actually helped us. That's exactly what I'm going to do because I love doing that. I fucking love doing that. Anyway, other than that, streaming every day. Lately, I've been playing Fallout 4 because I've been trying to have fun. And, that's it. Yeah, Apex is lame, so there isn't really anything to play right now. I'm pretty sure I'll be a Borderlands 3 streamer once that shit comes out. So.
Oh, hell yeah, brother.
Yeah. But other
I'm
than that...
life that game.
You're yeah, no, for sure. I'm gonna no life that game too. 100%. So yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for your support, everybody, for giving us the articles, Prince and Kaiser and everybody. Love you guys. Thank you so much for everything. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Czar salesman.
We pretend people care about our opinions. We pretend people care about our opinions.
There's a couple of good guys, virtue signaling their life away.
It smells like wet dog. We pretend people care about our opinions. We pretend people care about our opinions.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Point Click Podcast. There's a couple of good guys, virtue signaling their life away. So stay woke, stay fresh,